So here are with KIRK as he discussed the policy of the Republican together with that of the Democrat with a college student. Of course, it was actually a heated, you understand, debate. I decided to share some of those things, you understand, with you. So without any further ado, let's get on to this video and check this out.
Do you feel proud of yourself for debating college kids who are unprepared to speak in front of an audience like yourself? Hold on. You're 30 years old. We can agree you're 30 years old.
Yeah.
Right? Do you think that's a little bit silly?
Are you a voter?
I am a voter. I'm a registered
so
voter.
I vote and you vote. So I'm talking to voters of this country that will determine the future of Western civilization. That's what I'm doing here today. Yeah? Wait, hold on. How is it any different than a professor talking to you?
Than a professor talking to you? Who are you?
Well, important enough for you to come up to a microphone.
Actually, when I first saw this ad, I thought it was like an improv comedy thing. It looked so ridiculous that I didn't even think it was real.
Well, no, you could see. Look how popular Trump is on your campus. How does that make you feel? That's not comedy. That is a 5-alarm fire for Kamala Harris because she's probably going to lose Pennsylvania.
Look.
But no, I just want to be clear. Is there something wrong with talking to voters?
No, there's nothing wrong with talking to voters.
Well, that's what we're doing here today. It's an open mic.
I think that you push a dangerous agenda.
Such as?
Your stance on abortion rights, for example.
Here we go. Okay, so
let me ask a question. What is your name?
Jean.
Jean. And what is your understanding of the current Republican Party's stance on federal intervention in abortion?
Well, I know that they want to bring it back to the states, right?
So it sounds like you do know that the Republican Party's current stance on abortion is they're against a federal ban on abortion.
I do understand that,
And we're talking about a
yes.
presidential election as the important election that we're talking about here.
I understand that, yes.
Great. So, again, I think this open dialogue is great. I think it's great you're here challenging Charlie, and I think it's great that he's willing to travel campuses across this country to talk to the next generation. We need more conversation. Now, where's the disagreement, though, on content? Because you could criticize style or why you're talking to people or dunk on someone personally, but where do you actually disagree with the substance?
With the way that you edit content and specifically frame it so that people look bad talking to you. The way that you edit your content.
we post unedited content.
Let me just ask you one thing though, because personal insults can fly in all directions. Where is an area where you have a disagreement with the conservative movement, with Donald Trump, with Charlie KIRK, perhaps with myself? I was a presidential candidate last year. I think we need to talk about that more in the open, and the more we do, the stronger our country is going to be. We got a long line of people, but I want to hear from you one substantive area where you have an authentic disagreement, and I'd be glad to address it. I'm sure Charlie would too.
Just in anything.
Relating to any political topic where you have a disagreement. Let's air it.
Okay. I disagree with some of the laws that are being pushed in Congress that are against the LGBTQ community.
Okay.
And the trans community.
Okay, so let's talk about that. I'm going to give you my view, and then I want to hear yours.
Okay.
My view is that if you're a fully grown adult, 18 or above, you're free to live how you want, dress how you want, marry who you want if you want, if you're over the age of 18.
I agree.
But you are not free to indoctrinate children in schools who are not yet of the age of consent. You are not free, just as you're a 17-year-old or a 15-year-old can't get a tattoo on their own, I don't think that you should be able to go or until the age of 18. And so the lines that I draw here is that men are free to claim to be women and swim in swimming pools. You're not free to claim trophies in a women's sports competition. You're not free to enter a women's locker room. You're not free to change a language. And you're not free to actually indoctrinate our children who are under the age of 5 in schools. Do we agree on the fact that adults should be able to live freely while still treating children differently? If so, we're on the same side of this issue.
Listen, I agree with the majority of what you said. However, I don't think that you're understanding the implications of the laws that are trying to be passed.
Look, we got a head start in the conversation. We got a long line behind you. But my only ask is, forget the personal attacks or the stylistic attacks. Focus on substance. The more we debate that, the stronger we're going to be as a country.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
I don't think you're focusing on substance, though. That's the issue.
Hold on. Look, he intentionally tried to provoke substance out of you, and you said, well, I'm worried about some laws Congress should pass. I have to ask, what laws are you talking about? Can you be specific?
I'm sorry, I'm very nervous, but this is what you do. This is what you do. You take people and you put them under the spotlight, and you.
Well, hold on. I didn't ask you to come up here. You voluntarily came to the front of the line. You didn't have to do that.
You're purposely antagonizing people on campus, asking
How?
people to come up by spreading your weird agenda.
How? What agenda is that? I'm confused though.
So Charlie, I'll say this. We'll end on this and we'll go to the next question. When I was 18, and I'm not going to blame you for this, I also took for granted a lot of the stuff that the media force-fed me, because that's what you know at the age of 18. You say there are some vague laws making their way through Congress that are hostile to trans community.
Know how?
I don't think those laws actually
about,
exist, but I don't blame you if that's
me.
what the cable media is feeding you. But let's get to the specifics, and then we're able to actually have an open dialogue. And that's one of the things I've learned over the last 20 years.
I think that the issue is we're getting our media from different sources. Both people are getting media from these skewed sources. The facts that you're presenting are not always correct.
And that's why we're here with no TV screens between us. So people who have policy-based substantive disagreements, we invite those. I think that's how we're going to get our country back. And as it relates to trans, which you brought up, 18 or above, you're free to live how you want. You're not free to force that onto somebody else, or especially kids. And if we agree on that, we make some progress. Thank you.
Disagreements, yeah.
This is a very interesting one, listening to Charlie KIRK debating these college students concerning some of the policy of Democrats, and then when it comes to trans right, and then some of the policy that the Republican Party are making. Now, when you listen, in a sense, to Charlie KIRK, he is not saying that the Democrats, in a sense, as a party, are fully against the abortion right, but then they push it to state for state to be able to decide whatever that is good for their people. But nevertheless, whatever, in a sense, each of those respective, in a sense, constituency decide to choose for their people, then it is just up to them, instead of it, in a sense, to be banned, in a sense, at national or at the federal level. And then when we look at the issue of this trans right and then all that, well, at least, in a sense, for her, at least she's up to 18 years. So she can be able to decide whosoever, in a sense, she wants to get married. Just like how it was being explained to her. But you going ahead to indoctrinate some of these students, in a sense, or some of these children who are young and not up to 18, this is what, in a sense, conservative, in a sense, are against, in a sense, some of these things. They just wanted to at least allow these children. You don't have to bring these things, in a sense, to our institution. And if you look at it, in a sense, critically, it would be better like that. At least get into the 18 and then decide for yourself, right? As a matter of fact, in our even respective home, there are people that are even still be up to 18, but then you don't still have the right, in a sense, to even still decide, in a sense, for yourself. But nevertheless, they say reach 18 years, then decide whatever gender you decide that you want to be. But then if you are to look at it based on the religious, in a sense, aspect of it as a Christian, then you know that, in a sense, God have already created us what? Both male and female. This was already stated, in a sense, in Genesis chapter 1 verse 27. God have already what created us male and female. And then chapter 2 went on to emphasize on what God used. God created us out of the dust, and he breathed it through the nursery of a man, and then it becomes what? A living. So God have already decided whatever gender we should be. But then this is a situation whereby, in a sense, society tends to decide whatever they want to decide in the name of, in a sense, freedom and democracy, and then all those things, which some of these things, in a sense, is not really, in a sense, helping us, because at this point in time, you understand, the human right or the freedom we are talking about, in a sense, is now a threat to national security. How is it a threat to national security? Because it's now going against, in a sense, the values and the fundamentals in which the country itself, in a sense, was built in. Because if we says that, in a sense, we follow what God say and is being built, in a sense, on a Christian's value, then this is not what, in a sense, the Christian value, in a sense, is talking about. Okay, but nevertheless, Democrat now feels like, okay, be 18 years and decide whatever. So what is now bad, you understand, about it? And then that's the reason why I see when some of these couple of the questions, you understand, we have been asking, you understand, to the lady, she could not able to respond to some of them. Why? Because she was so confused, and they're talking about his 30 years and then discussing to them, and then some of them, they are not well prepared, forgetting the fact that you still be in the school and the professors to talk to, and whatever professor may be talking to me, probably you are not aware of it, right? But then he still speak to you, you understand, anyway. So you don't look at that and says that because you are too young, then therefore they cannot be able to speak to you. That's why he says that, well, he's speaking to people who are what, up to 18 years, and because they feels that, of course, that they want to dialogue with him, and then that's why they come over to be able to speak to him. So it was just up to him. He or she was not forced. She decided, you understand, to go there, right, to come and debate him. Then why are you now making it look like, okay, you are a victim of it, when you come to debate and then you lose a debate, and then now you are now crying as if you're being forced? Nobody was forced. She was not forced. She decided, you understand, to come. And then Charlie is just saying whatever he thinks, you understand, he is right, you understand, for American people, and then also for the Republican, you understand, party, you understand, itself. But then I know that a lot of you have thought an opinion concerning this, and I wanted to drop it at the comment section, and may God bless you as you do so. So this is the end of my video. If you like my reaction, should like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any video you want me to react to, don't forget to drop it at the comment section, and I'm going to check it out. So you remain blessed, and I see you in my next video. Goodbye.